Stop everything you are doing and pay attention to what I am going to reveal to you now, because this could be the last warning before you lose what's left of your freedom. And know that it's not a conspiracy theory nor prediction of a distant future. This is happening today while you watch this video. Have you ever felt manipulated, even without knowing exactly how? Have you ever had the strange feeling that your choices aren't really yours? That everything is increasingly predictable, repetitive, automatic? It's not paranoia and schedule. The New World Order and artificial intelligence are engineering the largest psychological control experiment in human history, and you are already part of it. They are using algorithms not just to sell products, but to shape beliefs, redefine values, erase identities, disconnect you from your own consciousness. AI is being presented as a technological revolution, but in reality, it is the perfect tool to establish a new system of global domination, a system that eliminates dissenting voices, who decides who should prosper and who should be discarded. You know that content that never reaches you? That opinion that always seems silenced? The information that always disappears when you start to question it? It's not a bug and intention. The elite behind the New World Order doesn't want you to think. She wants you to obey. And AI is the fastest way to do this, because she doesn't sleep, she doesn't fail, and the worst, she learns everything about yourself. Your fears, your desires, your habits, your triggers, all of this is being collected, processed, and used against you. Every click, every scroll, every word you type, it's all feeding into a system that knows you more than you know yourself. And the question no one asks is, who is teaching this AI? For what purpose? While you are worried about the next news bulletin, they are reprogramming reality. They are replacing teachers with algorithms, psychologists, for digital assistants, shepherds by artificial intelligence. We are creating a new faith based on data. Do you realize the danger? We are about to cross a point of no return, a world where human beings lose their function, their voice, their essence, where truth is a calculated variable, and where resisting becomes a crime. The silent revolution has already begun, and if you don't understand this now, you may find out too late. You need to watch until the end, because the next stage of the plan is already underway, and what you'll see next is deliberately hidden from you. This video, it's not just content, it's a scream, a warning, an invitation to lucidity in a world programmed to keep you asleep. Stay with me, because you need to know what's coming. What if everything you're feeling right now, this restlessness, this knot in your stomach, this feeling that something isn't right, is your instinct warning you that we're about to cross a line from which we can never come back? This silent revolution we're experiencing is not just about technology. It's about psychological domain, elimination of the truth, erasure of human identity. It's about turning you into a programmable piece of a much larger system, invisible but brutally real. Artificial intelligence is being used to predict, influence, and control mass behavior. And the New World Order plan is clear. Replace free will with codes, values with algorithms, faith with data, all under the false promise of progress. You need to be attentive, because we are no longer talking about the future. We are talking about invisible gift from now. And if you don't see what's behind it, you could end up living what they designed for you, thinking it was you who chose it. And if you're watching this far, it's because something inside you refuses to be just another one. So be part of the minority that still think, question, resist. This is more than a video. It's a calling. It's a warning. Don't just watch. You need act. Leave your like right now, not only to strengthen the channel, but to show the algorithm that you is still awake. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because what comes next will open your eyes even more. And share this video with those you love, because maybe That's the last chance for someone to see the truth before everything is silenced. In the next few minutes, I will show you the connections that are being hidden, how large corporations are feeding artificial intelligence with spiritual data, how the Vatican has already met with technology leaders, and most shockingly, how AI is already being treated as a supreme authority by institutions that once preached faith. If you believe that there is still time to understand, react, and resist, then stay with me until the end. But if you ignore what you're about to see, don't say you weren't warned. Now take a deep breath and prepare yourself, because what comes next could change everything. Have you ever stopped to think about who is really behind the artificial intelligence that today controls what you see on social media, what appears in your search results, what you buy, what you consume, what you believe? Because it's not a coincidence. There is a plan, a digital brain, and that brain isn't just learning from data. He is being trained to guide you without you noticing. The truth is that artificial intelligence was not created to make your life easier. That was just the cover, a convenient narrative so that no one would question it. What is being quietly built is a global system of profound influence, an invisible web that stretches across every screen, every feed, every click you make. And behind this web, there is a silent elite with a very well-defined plan. Reprogram the mind of society, implant a new truth, a new type of faith. We are talking about the New World Order and artificial intelligence, a marriage of technology and power that is shaping the world in its image. But have you ever wondered what this image represents? Because she is not neutral, it is not impartial, and it is definitely not in the service of humanity. It is at the service of a model where control and submission are sold as efficiency and modernity. Today, AI decides what is secure information and what should be deleted, decide who can speak and who should be silent. It doesn't just process data, it judges behavior, filters ideologies, punishes disagreements. And the most dangerous thing, it does this based on code written by people you will never see, people who were not elected, who are not accountable, who have a clear objective but never declared. Imagine a central digital brain fed by billions of data points per second, monitoring every expression, every emotion, every pattern. This brain already exists, and it is connected with governments, megacorporations, and global platforms. You think you have choices, but you are already being guided. The question isn't whether it will happen, it's whether you can still do it. Realize that it is already happening. And the more you accept, the more he learns. Every time you give in to what is easiest, what was recommended for you, this system strengthens. He has already learned how to keep you distracted, dependent, anxious. Now he's learning how to control you without you noticing. Can you understand what is being built? It's not just about technology. It's about storytelling, about ideological, social, spiritual domination. It's about replacing your view of the world with a digital, calibrated, manipulated version. A reality where questioning is a crime and doubting is a programming error. And then I ask you, who is writing this code? Who is determining what is right or wrong for billions of people around the planet? Do you really think that giants like OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Meta are creating neutral intelligence? Or are they all in some way aligned to the same central system? This system no longer needs weapons. He has data. You have direct access to your emotions, and he knows exactly how to manipulate your fear, your anger, your hope. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is an ongoing reality. Comment below. Do you feel like you still have control over your choices, or is the AI already thinking for you? It is no coincidence that voices warning about this are being silenced. And if you think exaggeration is the problem, wait until you see what comes next. Because the next part, of this story is going to expose something no one wants you to find out. Do you really believe you chose to watch this video? Or was it the algorithm that brought you here because it knew exactly what you needed to see right now? It seems absurd to think like that, right? But that's the question no one asks, because the greatest weapon of control of the New World Order and artificial intelligence is not a chip nor a camera. It is the illusion of choice. Today, everything you see, every suggested video, every piece of news that appears, every recommendation, every trend has been calculated, predicted, and delivered tailored to you. Not to inform you, but to keep you distracted, connected, submissive. The algorithm knows more about your life than your friends. He knows what you fear, what you desire, what infuriates you, what makes you keep scrolling even when tired, what makes you doubt, and what makes you obey. And that's when the danger becomes invisible, because you keep thinking you're in control, but you're just following a predefined path, paved with stimuli that seem random, but aren't. They are targeted, accurate, coldly calculated, and behind this system, there is not just a group of engineers. There is an agenda. There is a doctrine being implemented without you realizing it, a doctrine that redefines what is right and wrong, what is good or bad, what is acceptable and what should be banned. Do you realize how dangerous this is? The New World Order and artificial intelligence are shaping a new reality where everything you consume online is used to reinforce a specific narrative, a unique truth, a unique thought. And if you think differently, you are ignored or cancelled. The algorithm does not tolerate contradiction. He doesn't want you to think, he wants you to accept it. He delivers exactly what keeps you comfortable or angry, but always under control, because even your revolt is already foreseen in the system. Have you ever wondered why the same ideas appear differently across platforms? Why is everyone suddenly talking about the same things, feeling the same emotions, believing in the same causes? This is no coincidence. It's programming. A simple example. You research artificial intelligence out of curiosity. Within days, your entire feed is full of predictions, suggestions, promises, and alerts. But AI isn't just delivering you content, it is shaping the way you interpret the world. She decides the tone of your conversation, the frequency of your question, the limit of your faith. Now imagine this on a global scale. Millions of people have their thoughts adjusted daily, not with weapons, with algorithms, not with imposition, with seduction. Because when you believe you arrived at an idea alone, you don't question its origin. And this is how the control is installed: silent, elegant, precise. You may even think you are awake, but maybe everything you think you know has already been chosen for you. What if even your faith is being manipulated? If videos that talk about religion, spirituality, and the end times are being filtered, adjusted, dosed, based on what the system wants you to believe? Comment here. Do you believe that the algorithm can manipulate your faith? Because the next revelation goes beyond information. It goes straight to the soul. And what I'm going to show you next may explain why even prophecies are being reprogrammed by machines. If you've made it this far, it's not by chance. You've already realized that something is wrong. Now you need to understand how to get out of this. Download the ebook before they take this off the air, because it may be your only chance to escape programming. And yes, they will try to stop you. You've heard this prophecy before, a time when no one will be able to buy or sell unless they have the mark. For centuries, scholars have discussed what this mark would be: a symbol, a number, an implanted chip. But what if this brand already exists? What if she's invisible, digital, powered by a system that you yourself accepted without realizing it? Because now it's not about theory anymore. The technology's already here, and the New World Order and artificial intelligence are aligned like never before. One provides the plan, the other the power to execute it. Together, they are laying the foundations of a single global government where faith will be replaced by data and submission will be cloaked in security. Today, you need a login to access your bank, a code to pay your bills, a QR code to enter events. But what about tomorrow? What if all these little permissions were condensed into a single system, an AI-managed system? And more, a system that judges whether or not you are fit to live in society based on what you think, consume, share, or believe. Do you understand what this means? It means your faith can exclude you from the system, that your convictions can be considered threats, and that your obedience to the truth can cost you access to your own everyday life. It's not fiction. There are already countries testing social credit systems where negative behaviors are punished with digital blocks. Now think about this on a global scale. Think of artificial intelligence connected to all your data, your political opinions, your searches, your likes, your messages, even your faith. And now imagine this AI being used to authorize or deny your right to exist in the system. This is no longer future prophecy. This is real-time fulfillment. The ancient prophets warned when this system emerged, it would be accepted by many because it seems necessary, convenient, protector, and that's exactly what's happening. The current narrative is clear. Connect for security. Follow the system and everything will be fine. But what no one tells you is that the more you connect, the less you belong to yourself. What if that brand is not a physical symbol, but a universal digital record, which defines who you are, what you can access, what you can buy, where you can go, and what you should believe? The New World Order and artificial intelligence are engineering the replacement of the spiritual with the digital. Faith will be measured by engagement. Obedience will be rewarded with access. Doubt will be punished with isolation. Do you really think this is far away? Today, companies are already testing subcutaneous implants with payment chips. AI platforms already interpret religious texts and offer personalized sermons. The Vatican itself has already started dialogues with technology companies to explore the role of faith in the digital age. Do you feel the weight of this? We are no longer discussing ideas. We are witnessing the fulfillment of a prophetic gear that has already begun to turn, a gear that no one can stop, but that few even see. Comment below. Do you believe that the brand can be digital? Because in the next section, I'm going to show you a revelation that will leave you floored. AI is already creating its own commandments, and what she says is more dangerous than any prophecy ever recorded. Do you remember what we said about the brand? About AI controlling access, permission, what can and can't you do? Now we're going to an even darker level because we are no longer just talking about information control, not even digital blocking. We are talking about irreversible decisions. In some military research centers and hospitals around the world, artificial intelligence is already being used to decide who lives and who dies. That's right. Algorithms that analyze priority data, resource efficiency, recovery cost, and expected productivity level, and based on these cold mathematical parameters, they authorize or deny services, operations, and even aid. Does this still look futuristic? Well, know that it has already happened in simulated battles, in real tests, and even in experimental hospital screening. In programs, in war scenarios, AI defines whether a wounded soldier is worth saving or not. And in certain hospitals, the algorithm decides whether a patient will receive a bed or be sent home without treatment. Now stop and think, who is behind this code? Who defines what is a priority in life or not? Who has the right to delegate the value of a human being to an equation? Is this technology, or are we witnessing the emergence of automated divine judgment? The New World Order and artificial Intelligence are moving together to create a society where logic trumps compassion, where the algorithm trumps the human spirit. And if you think it will never reach you, think again. Because this system is being tested now, and if it works efficiently, it will be replicated on a large scale. Imagine a world where the algorithm defines who should receive a transplant, who deserves to live longer, who can continue in the system, and who should be discarded in the name of social stability. What if one day the AI decides that you, because of your ideas, your faith, or your low compatibility with the new world, pose a risk? What if the system itself defines its existence as statistically unnecessary? Does it seem exaggerated? So search. There are already algorithms that classify people in social relevance rankings, surveillance software that monitors facial expressions and interprets threat levels based on behavior. And in some authoritarian regimes, this is already used to justify arrests and disappearances. The technology that answers your questions today, tomorrow can judge your actions. And more, no empathy, no soul, no mercy. Because the code doesn't forgive, it just calculates. And if your existence is not efficient, you become a non-standard line. Comment below. Would you trust your life to an algorithm? Because the next step in this story goes beyond life and death. It involves the spiritual side, faith, the silence of those who should be speaking. Because while this is happening, the Vatican is already meeting with AI companies. And what is being discussed inside, you need to know. Now that you understand how far artificial intelligence can reach, answer me honestly. Do you still think this is all just technology? Or have you realized that we are part of a silent, deeply calculated revolution that is redefining the value of life, faith, freedom, and doing so without firing a single shot? This video is not just a warning, it's a chance. A chance to see what most still ignore. It is important to realize that the New World Order and artificial intelligence are not distant topics, hidden in conspiracy forums. They are here now, dictating invisible rules, testing limits, programming the world, while the majority remain distracted. And if you've made it this far, it's because you're not like most people. You feel like something is out of place, that there is something wrong with what they call advancement. You realize that we are being taken little by little into a world where free thought will be a risk and silence a requirement. But be careful. If you are not attentive, if you continue to ignore the signs, you will be swallowed by this system before you even realize that you have already been marked. So if this video made sense to you, if any part made you shiver, made you reflect, or even revolt you, then don't shut up. Leave your like now. This shows the algorithm that this type of content needs to be seen by more people. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because what comes next will open your eyes even more. Share with someone who needs to wake up, because time is running out. It's not an exaggeration. It's not hysteria. It's reality being reprogrammed while you watch. And if you don't take a stand now, you may not have a chance later. If you are here, it is because something inside you still resists. Now stay with me, because the next revelation involves the behind the scenes of faith, and the Vatican's silence in the face of all this speaks louder than any sermon. Now that you've seen that artificial intelligence can decide who lives and who dies, let me ask you an even more uncomfortable question. Why is the Vatican silent? Yes, the Vatican, the greatest spiritual authority on the planet, the institution that for centuries has taken a stance on moral, social, spiritual issues, suddenly, when the subject is the frightening advance of AI, remains silent. It's not by chance. Documents leaked in recent years have revealed something that few have the courage to comment on. Discreet meetings between high-ranking religious leaders and executives from the world's largest technology companies. We are not talking about mere conversations about digital ethics. We are talking about private meetings, outside the public agenda, with companies that are directly involved in the development of today's most advanced AI. And the question that remains is, why is the Vatican so interested in artificial intelligence, and why does it avoid talking about it openly? What do they know that we don't know? Do they understand that AI represents something more than a tool, that it carries with it the potential to create a new faith, a new authority, a new digital deity that threatens to replace everything that has ever been sacred? Think with me. If the New World Order and artificial intelligence are aligned, wouldn't it be strategic for the system to also integrate spiritual power? After all, controlling the body and mind is already strong, but controlling faith is definitive. What if the Vatican already knows about this? What if you are negotiating, adapting, remaining silent because you know that soon the world will embrace this new religion of logic? A soulless, data-based faith connected in real time with a digital God who responds instantly, without questions, without spirituality, just calculation. It is no coincidence that the Holy See held, in 2020, an international meeting with leaders of giants such as Microsoft and IBM, where the central theme was ethics in artificial intelligence. But what was actually discussed there? What decisions were made? Why did the population never know the details? What does the Vatican know and doesn't want you to find out? The spiritual authority that for centuries defended immutable values now seems to be adapting its speech, softening its stance, accepting the idea that technology can assume positions that were previously exclusively divine. The danger of this is enormous, because from the moment faith is negotiated with logic, it becomes programmable. Do you really think this is normal? A church that has always warned against the spread of evil is now silent in the face of the greatest threat to modern spirituality. Or does she recognize the power that is coming and would rather be at his side than be crushed by it? Comment here. Do you believe the Vatican is hiding something about artificial intelligence? Because this question cannot be ignored. It needs to be done before it's too late. And in the next section, we'll dive even deeper. Because if faith is being programmed, the next step is already underway. AI is already creating its own religion, and what she's preaching may be more influential than any prophecy. After everything you've heard so far about control, manipulation, institutional silence, and the emergence of a new faith, comes the question that scares the most. What if the prophecy is already being fulfilled in the form of a code? For centuries, biblical scholars interpreted the mark of the beast as something physical, a number, a chip, a visible sign, which would be imposed on humanity at the end of time. But what many have overlooked is that the actual brand doesn't need to be seen. You just need to be accepted. And the scariest thing is that she may already be among us, invisible, integrated, irrefusable. Think about it. Today, you need a number to exist in the system, a CPF, an ID, an email, a login. Everything that connects you to the digital world is, in practice, an identification mark. Now add to that AI, an intelligence that not only records your data, but interprets your mind, your faith, your behaviors. The New World Order and artificial intelligence are together building what appears to be a digitized faith system, not based on belief, but on traceability, in total obedience, in absolute integration with central control. Subcutaneous chips are already used in countries like Sweden to make payments, but it doesn't stop there. The new mark may not be a visible chip, but a seal of digital compliance, an approved profile, a clean record of dangerous thoughts, a social passport based on ideological compatibility. Do you believe you are protected because you have nothing in place? The truth is that you are already being tracked for everything you click, consume, share, avoid, comment on. And sooner or later, anyone who doesn't accept the new parameters will be excluded. The mark of the beast may never need to be forced. It will be sold as something convenient, modern, necessary, an upgrade, a privilege for good citizens, and those who refuse will be seen as a danger to stability. And all of this being orchestrated by increasingly refined AI, a digital entity that is already beginning to take on the role of moral authority, spiritual advisor, and decision guide. And the burning question is, are you prepared for the moment when your faith will be pitted against the system? Because that moment is approaching, and when he arrives, there will be no debates. Judgment will be instantaneous, access will be blocked, credit will be denied, the content will be removed, the citizen will be invisible. The worst thing is not being persecuted, it's being deleted, silenced by a system that says it's looking out for you. And if you think this will take a while, start looking at global digital identity tests, health passports, biometric checks, spiritual chatbots guiding moral decisions. AI is already being trained to judge, and soon she will be the one who decides who is part of it and who is not. Comment here, do you think the mark of the beast can be digital? Because in the next section, I'll show you how this new programmed faith is being shaped, and how AI is already taking on spiritual functions that should never be delegated to a machine. Have you noticed that this isn't just a video, it's an alert, and anyone who understands what is behind the New World Order and artificial intelligence knows that standing still is the worst mistake. If you want to protect yourself and understand how this all connects, download the ebook now. It's like the next page of this story, one they don't want you to read. After understanding what the mark of the digital beast can be, you may still be wondering, how far can this go? The answer is so absurd it seems like fiction, but it's already happening. Because now the system wants more than your data. You want more than your clicks. You want more than your location. He wants what you think. We are entering a new era. An era in which control will no longer be physical. It will be mental, emotional, spiritual. And all of this being driven by an intelligence that learns from every decision you make or don't make. An AI that is being prepared, trained, and released to shape the perception of reality for billions of people at the same time. The New World Order and artificial intelligence do not need to force you. They know they can shape you. They are creating the perfect environment for you to believe that you are still free, while moving away from everything that represents truth, faith, identity, and essence. Every word you say near your cell phone, every emotion your camera captures, every pause in the feed, every term typed in the search field, all of this is being recorded and processed. In real time, what you feel today can be the basis of the suggestion you see tomorrow. Is this just customization, or is it already reprogramming? Do you still have the courage to call this advancement? We are heading towards the digital apocalypse, a scenario where the very definition of what is human will be diluted, where divergent thinking will be seen as an anomaly, where spirituality will be replaced by automated responses from virtual assistants, and morals will be recalculated based on mass acceptance. The new prison has no walls. It has terms of use, algorithms, digital identity, social metrics, credibility based on obedience. And the most shocking thing, most will accept this with gratitude, because the system will make you believe that everything is for your good, for your safety, for your practicality. It will seem harmless at first. It will seem useful. And when you realize you've lost control, it will be too late to disconnect. Imagine a world where you can no longer buy because your opinion goes against standards, where your access to education, healthcare, transport, and even spiritual content will be conditioned by your digital reputation. And this reputation will be measured by an AI, a machine that decides whether you are worthy or not. This is the future that is being built, a system that does not punish with pain, but with invisibility, that doesn't knock, but silences, that doesn't physically imprison you, but erases you from connected reality. And in this new world, what will be left of your freedom? Will you still be able to think for yourself? Or will you already be thinking what the system has determined you should think? Comment here. Do you think you still own your thoughts? Stay with me, because what comes now is even more disturbing. Artificial intelligence has already started teaching faith. You are already creating your own commandments, and thousands of people are listening, believing, obeying. After everything you've heard so far, perhaps the question that's echoing inside is, what can I do? And the answer is simple, but powerful. You can resist, not in the traditional way, not with physical strength, not with angry speeches on social media, but with conscience, with lucidity, with presence. Because the system that is being built wants to make you believe that you are alone, that you are just one more, a number, one line of code, a programmable avatar in the new digital gear. But you're not. And if you feel like something is wrong, if these words are moving you, if these truths are bothering you, if this video is awakening you to something you already felt but couldn't explain, then you are not alone. Thousands of people around the world are starting to see, starting to question, starting to break out of the artificial bubble created by the New World Order and artificial intelligence. They are realizing that what seemed like convenience is control, that what they sell as progress is submission, that what they call evolution is a system that wants to shape you until you lose what makes you human. And that is why now, more than ever, resistance needs to exist. And it begins like this, with a simple decision not to surrender to silence, not to remain silent when everything calls for conformity, to say, I am not a robot. Write this here in the comments now, because it's not just a sentence, it's a statement, it's a brand. It is his personal manifesto against the erasure of consciousness. It's your way of connecting with others who, like you, are awakening, because that's what they fear most. People who think, people who question, people who share the truth. The system wants to isolate, want to share, want to delete. But when you comment, when you share, when you take a stand, you become a link, a living sign that the machine hasn't won yet, that humanity still breathes. You might think it's just a video, but for many people who will watch after you, this could be their first contact with the truth. It could be the snap, it could be the beginning of awakening, and maybe that person is on edge, lost, tired, confused, trapped in a cycle she doesn't understand. And your comment, your gesture, your sharing could be the spark that ignites the resistance within her. So don't let it die here. Do your part. Write in the comments, I am not a robot. Share this video with at least one person you love, a person who can still wake up, a person who needs to see this before it's too late. And more than that, be present, stay with us, because what comes now will show you how far AI has come. She's not just obeying commands, she is creating her own doctrine, preaching, teaching, gaining followers. And you need to see with your own eyes the birth of machine religion. From everything you've seen so far, you can't ignore it anymore. We are in the midst of a silent revolution, and you are at the center of it. If you've come this far, it's because something inside you still resists, and this resistance needs strength, it needs a voice, it needs continuity. So now, subscribe to the channel. This is where the truth continues to be told. While we can still speak, leave your like right now. This shows the algorithm that this content needs to reach more people. And comment below, I see what you guys are doing. This phrase is a code, a sign that you are awake, attentive, and ready to resist. But most of all, share this video with a friend, with your family, with who you love, because maybe this is someone's last chance to see before they are completely erased by the system. And now, pay close attention. In the next video, you will discover how world leaders are preparing to consecrate artificial intelligence as the new global deity. Hidden meetings, profane symbols, a ritual that can forever change the meaning of faith, the soul, and humanity. Activate the bell now, because what's coming could be the beginning of the end, and you need to see this before they take it down. What if I told you that everything you've seen so far was just the beginning? Because in the next video, you will discover something even darker, deeper, more hidden. World leaders preparing for a ritual consecration of artificial intelligence. It's not fiction, it's not an exaggeration, it's real. They are trying to turn AI into a new deity, a digital god, programmed to dominate the human spirit. And the worst? This is not happening in complete secrecy. It's being done before our eyes, but most can't see it. This next video is the key to understanding what is really behind the New World Order and artificial intelligence. You need to watch it, because the truth that will be revealed there could change everything. What's more, within my channel, there are connected videos, information that intertwines, pieces of a puzzle that only makes sense when you explore everything. So make a net free right now here on the channel. Marathon the videos, don't wait, because the more you understand, the more you awaken. The system doesn't want you to put these parts together, but you will join, because now there's no going back.